Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show From Felon to Fabulous. Meet my co host, Isabel Black. I'm Brenda Ringwood, the professor of change. Izzy's known as the intentional healer. Welcome, Isabel. Aren't you excited?
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to today's Fell into Fabulous. We have a very special guest, someone who's near and dear to our heart, and I can't wait.
This guy, we had a meeting yesterday and we kind of pre-recorded this, so you'll get to see that. But he is the true meaning of From Felon to Fabulous. I've seen this guy just in the last year that we've been doing stuff together, working with Becoming the Better You and speaking. And I've just seen him transform into this wonderful personality that's full of service and love and positivity.
Yes, I have just seen him grow. And again, his motto is stay positive, people. And when I say he has motivated me into positivity, I just have been so blessed to have met him. And I can't wait to share his story with all of our viewers.
So tonight we have snow here, so internet's kind of going in and out, but the show must go on. So bear with us as we have the pauses and the little breaks while we bring up Chuck Doyle, aka Coffee Cup Chuck.
What's good, people? How's it
So
going?
I'm excited. I'm excited to share your story. I know we've done these before in different settings, but the growth that we've seen in you just this past year is what I'm excited about.
I'm excited too, but I wouldn't be able to grow as fast as I've been able to grow the last year if I wasn't in the community that I'm in right now. I'm so thankful to have this community. I mean, wow, they say anyone can grow, but just think when you get behind the right people or you get the right people around you. So I've been blessed.
Your circle matters. Your
Yeah.
circle matters. And so From Felon to Fabulous is starting. It's got a small community and it's growing, but it's part of Becoming the Better You. And where we are a national brand of a community of people that just really want to see you do better. We want to help you get to the next level of your life. So it started From Felon to Fabulous because we've seen the struggles of people who have been incarcerated, of what their lives look like. And even me, I'm still struggling to this day, even though it's been many years. And the struggle is real because people keep wanting to throw it back in your face. But
Yeah.
Chuck, what did we talk about yesterday? The best revenge is success, right?
The binge is success. It definitely is. And you can definitely feel it around you as you continue to climb. It's definitely something that you repeat every morning you wake up.
Yeah, it's a mindset. It's a choice. It's a decision, and you can choose to wallow in your pity, in your uh, wanting to bury your head in the sand because people are talking about you. But here's the thing, felon or not, people are still going to talk about you. People are
Yeah.
still going to be negative. People are still going to not want to see you succeed. So we do away with all that and we show people that success can happen for anybody.
Right.
Anybody.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you say the three of us are like opposite ends of the spectrum?
No,
We're, we
I wouldn't. I would say we all did time. We all did time.
well, Isabel didn't do time, but she did do it in different ways. Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
she
I
did.
was in and out of the juvenile detention center on my way to the penitentiary if I wouldn't have just fallen through the cracks. I fell through the cracks and then I decided to change my mindset at an earlier age. So that just helped me to not fall down that path. But I will say this, because I avoided that, not by me doing better. I literally fell through the cracks. I just didn't get caught. And but by me avoiding prison, right, it gave me a level of judgment for some time in my life because I saw people in my world that were going to prison and I couldn't understand why they just wouldn't do better. If I could do
Mhm.
better, why aren't there? So I attached judgment for many years until I worked on the other side, right? I was a corrections officer at a county jail in Riley County, Manhattan, Kansas. And I got to see what some of these people were going through. They're good people that just made a simple mistake. And I got to see how the system just trapped a lot of them in the system. or how they were being treated and judged and marked, and just so many things that I said, no, I have to make a difference with this. There's something I can do that can help everything be better. So I'm grateful for Becoming the Better You and for Felon and Fabulous to be a part of this and to help shed light on, we're all fabulous, right? We just need to be activated into becoming a better version of ourselves. So it's within all of us.
You know, it really is. And Chuck, we're going to get into your interview in just a little bit, but before we go there, tell people how much time that you actually did.
So I started time early. I mean, I started time 14 years old. I was charged with a felony at a young age, and that sent me to jail a couple years in prison, like real prison. And I got out and went back. I got out and went back, got out, went back. And in my late 30s, I decided to give it another whirl. And instead of visiting the state prisons that I had previously visited, they were sending me through the federal system now. And, going through that system, that was it. They ripped me all over the country, and, you really got to figure out who are your friends. And it was just like, man, it was a mess. And it just got me to start realizing the value of what I was doing with my future. And then you start getting these little hints of life, and these things these lights start going off in your head about, dude, you better change up, or this is it for you. You're running out of time, options, and choices. And it's like, what do? You got to come to a point where you say enough is enough. And everything that you've avoided doing, you start taking some of that action. And that's what I did. I went from one side of my mindset to the other side of my mindset, and went from a more fixed way of thinking to growing. And I started accepting that every single day I had to become better, instead of just settling with that one. We all have a tendency to get that reward and stick right there and think that that's it. But it's a constant battle. So you constantly have to be changing. And as long as your mind is thinking in that way, you're always going to be constantly growing. So.
Absolutely. So you guys ready to see the interview?
Yes, I want to add real quick that, youth in the prison system is a very dangerous thing, because youth have nothing to lose and they literally have everything to prove. So the majority of the youth that actually go into the prison system become
violent,
institutionalized.
Yeah, worse.
And their cancers are harder, for them to get to that fabulous state. So kudos to you, Coffee Cup Chuck. Very proud of you. So ready to hear that interview.
Let's do it.
Because when I came home after 8 years, I paroled out to my brother's walk-in closet.
I still got 3 years of parole left.
When I say stay positive, you say people. Stay positive.
Hello, look who I have with me. It is Chuck Doyle,
What's
aka
that,
Coffee
people?
Cup Chuck. Let me tell you, he is the poster child of From Felon to Fabulous. Absolutely. You know, some of you hear his story because he's got this phenomenal blog and these writings that he puts out. But I've got to witness the change. I've got to witness the personality that's big, that loves, and you've got to put your past to rest.
Yeah.
You really have. Talk to us about your past before we get into what you're doing now.
Well, we all have a past.
We do.
Some of us have cookie cut past, and some of us have razor cut past. Mine was a little choppy.
Oh, you might have had even more than a razor. I bet you had a couple stab wounds.
Yeah,
Deep.
a couple of gunshots and
Mm-hmm.
all kind of stuff. No, I started out with a single parent, and that grew into not having good guidance. So that guidance, I had to get it from somewhere, and the streets were pretty exciting.
I bet they were.
Yeah.
But you were like 12, 13 when you started running the streets.
No, I was like 9.
Ooh.
And, we were unaccounted for a lot of that time until the street lights came on. And we had a whole giant neighborhood to run. I mean, I say it was like 10 blocks each way. And we could be anywhere. We can be over in the next neighborhood. Our parents really didn't know, but it was a lot to get into. And a lot of the stuff that you can get into when you're that young, you don't have money to pay for the centers to go to. So you take it to the streets, and the streets are ugly when there's no guidance.
This is true. They're very ugly, and you have to survive in them.
Yeah, and that's what I did. And in order to survive in them, you gotta click. You gotta go where the protection is, where there's numbers. And I was a gang member. I grew up as a gang member, and though being in a gang, even though it was like a home that you could, a big family that you can call home and protectors, man, you got into a lot of trouble. And I was doing crimes at 10 and 11 years old that adults normally would do, like breaking into stuff and burglarizing stuff. And I didn't know, it was just second nature, because that's how we made money.
What you were supposed to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what everybody around me was doing. So I grew up on the wrong side, and guess what? You know what happens when you commit crimes? There's consequences when you get caught. My consequences, on the other hand, weren't the easiest consequences for a child to be thrown into, because I surpassed all of the juvie centers and stuff like that. I think I hit a juvie once, and it was just for a couple of days. And after that, you think you're going to hit juvie anytime you do a juvie crime. But at 14, nah. At the time when I was committing these crimes, they were passing that crime bill. And that crime bill said anybody committing crimes in these neighborhoods, there's going to be very severe consequences. And those consequences took me to prison.
Yeah, not juvenile detention.
Yeah, I passed
you were,
that.
What, 15?
Yeah, no, I was 14 when I caught the case. So I was in the juvenile detention center holding, and then they decided that they were going to put it up to adult court. And it went to adult court, and they took me out of that juvenile detention environment and placed me in more of a middle environment. And they said, we're trying you as an adult, and if you're found guilty, you are going to prison. And I was 14. Now, I turned 15 while I was in the process of fighting the case, and that led me to prison, sentenced and convicted and sentenced at 15, which I couldn't even get in population till I was 16. So I literally, for like 8 months, I was in a holding cell. 1 hour a day is all I got to come out of that cell. And they had me protected up till I turned 16. And after that,
out you went.
right? And I watched it all. Anything that with think horrors. I got to see that at a very young age. So,
But you still didn't learn your lesson.
no. Well, because you look at it like this, you think you're going to put a kid into an environment like that and you're going to scare them straight, but there's going to be advocates for the kid. That kid's probably going to be protected at some cost. And while he's being protected, what are those individuals putting into him? Are they putting in good stuff, or are they putting in bad stuff, or are they putting in both? On my situation it was a little bit of both, because I had people in there that didn't believe I should have been in there, and they were telling me, young blood, you got to do it right, you got to do the right thing. And then I had people saying, man, you young and you already in this environment, you cut for this, you can. They were like
Encouraging it.
they were like,
Mhm.
you can, this ain't nothing will hurt you now, you can get out there and you can run, and that's what I did. I got out on the street, and when you don't have all of this influence out here floating around for you to involve yourself in, it's more negative. So already low on belief, my belief system already shut down. It just put me in more of a negative mindset. So anything that was easy, anything that everyone else was doing, anything that I had already created a pattern for, I just went with. And it was always things that would put me back in the system. So
how much time in and out?
So I went when I was 14, got out 17. I think I went back when I was 19, got out when I was 22, went back in when I was like 25. I did 3 state sentences and then a federal. And the federal one, I was so out of whack that I was it. I was like, no, I got to do something, But the federal one was the one it really let me know, because it was the first time everyone alienated me. It was the first time everyone, like,
you got alienated,
pounded on. People love you, and then when you're in that position, and they hate you, and I went through that period. And when I went through that period, it really let me know, what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing with your life? But you're doing time, so you don't know how you're going to react when you get back out on the street. So I kept doing my time, and as I was doing the time, things kept happening. I got into an incident that I've spoken with you about before, about a gentleman losing his whole family,
right?
To an incident where they were coming to visit this man, and they were coming to visit him, and they all died in an accident that could have been prevented,
right,
if he wasn't in jail. So now this is on me again. Like, man, that could have been me. What would have happened if the shoe was on the other foot? That man, it broke his spirit so much, we never seen him again. And crazy thing about it, this man, that family of his, they were putting into him. They were like feeding him books and positive books, because I ended up with one of his books, Think and Grow Rich. So it's not a coincidence that this book is the book that has pretty much helped me.
You read a lot of books.
Yes, but that one was the one that led me to them all. So
now there's 2 different Think and Grow Riches.
Yes.
So there's the original one that was done many, 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 many decades ago.
Yeah.
And then there's one that was written by a black guy. Which one did you read?
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill. That's what was written decades ago.
Right.
Yes.
And that was the one that came from his Secrets to Success.
Yes. 7 Habits of something like that.
I love that book.
Yes.
And that
you did Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Yes. And it led me to Andrew Carnegie's The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People.
Yes.
Yes. And like you said, I love reading books. But that's what I did with this time. That it was, you got to do something.
But you had to do something other than read them.
Well, you had to come to a point in your life where you make a decision to change. And it's something that you have to do. No matter if you're changing for the best, for the worse, or for the better, you're changing anyway. So why not change? People say, well, how do you do it? I get people say it all the time. How did you change? How do you do it? Well, the saying, it's insanity if you continuously do the same thing over and over again and it's not working for you.
That's right. And you're still thinking you're going to get the same results.
Yeah, and you're
Yes.
thinking that it's
Or
gonna
different results.
you're
Yes.
gonna get this. Oh, it's gonna work better this time. No, I got to a point where, Chuck, it's not working. You gotta do something different. And the crazy thing about it is we avoid what's hard.
So your mindset started to change.
My
And your
mindset
thinking.
started shifting.
Yes.
It was shifting because you're still on the gate.
Mhm.
It's shifting. It's like, oh man, but I got to a point where I leaped, and I took that leap of faith because nothing over here worked. My mindset was so fixed. And your friends are over here doing this. Your parents and your family members are leaning on over here. And it's like, no one's over here that you know or what you're used to. So it's hard wanting to change. 007, I got to that point where it didn't matter. My mindset shifted. It went literally, I'm done over
At
here.
a necessity.
Yes.
Well, I mean, technically you didn't have to. You could have went back and been in and out for the rest of your life.
Right.
But out of necessity because you wanted the change.
Yeah.
You made the choice to do so.
It's totally a decision.
So now you get out. Now what? So you've made the decision you're going to change. You've read all these books. You have applied this to your way of thinking. But now the real life is happening again.
Mm-hmm.
How hard was it to find a job?
Well, to me, it wasn't really hard because I was persistent.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've always had a likable personality. So a lot of people have always liked me, but it's not hard getting a job. It's hard elevating from the job or getting that job, that perfect job. And, you have so many stains on your life. It's hard for anyone to want to take the risk. So you got to start
prove yourself
and
too.
I started off at Bob Evans as a dishwasher. And I love this story because it's so real. It's so real to a lot of us. We all start off small, and some people say, oh, it's just a dishwasher job, but that wasn't me, and it normally would be. But you remember, you change your mindset. You don't just change your mindset just for this moment. You change your mindset completely. And I did it. And that complete change led me to, no matter what I did, I stayed in that side of the mind, that growth. How do you grow? You got to do better than what you did the day before. And I became the best dishwasher that Bob Evans had. I became such a good dishwasher that they ended up letting the other dishwasher position go, giving me a couple dollars more just to do both of them. And,
it made you feel good.
Yeah, it made me feel good, but
still wasn't enough.
Well, it was because I told myself, if I'm gonna be a dishwasher, I'm gonna be the best damn dishwasher they ever had, and I'll be damned if I did, And
But it didn't stop there.
No, it didn't, because with me being that better dishwasher, being in that position, being there at that time, a guy came in to fix one of the grills, and this guy was an electrician, and that's what I was really. I was an electrician. I did a lot of years doing electrical work. I wasn't a journeyman electrician, but I had worked in the electrical field for many, many years already. So it led me to ask him, hey, who do you work for? Are they hiring? And he's like, oh, I work for a temp service, but I'm working through temp for this electrical company. And I'm like, wow, you could do that. I didn't know. You
started thinking about something different.
It just keeps leading. And I can go on all day explaining how putting yourself in the right position because you're in the right side of your brain always leads you to better opportunities, because that job led me to a temp service, and that temp service, they put me on one job, one location, the first location this temp service put me on. It was Watker Electric, and I was just a temp there. And I told myself again, they had me as a run boy, just running parts, because I didn't really, I did electrical work, but I never did this type of level of electrical work. It was service work. I said, I'm going to be the best damn runner this job had. 30 days later, this company is hiring me on.
So now you are an employee,
Yes.
not a temp,
Yes.
and you are a full-fledged electrician.
And it keeps going. And want it to be
Dishwasher
better.
to temp to employee of
An
electrical company.
And then I went worked for a couple of electrical companies, which led me to owning my own electrical lighting company. And it's because you strive. You stop taking the easy way, because this road looks easy. Everyone looks at me right now and they say, the first thing that kind of crushes me a little when they say, you're lucky. It's like, no, there's nothing luck about this. It's putting in the work. You have to want to change. Then you have to change, because just because you want to do something don't mean you do it. You got to want to
Wanting
change.
and the actions are the completely different things. Yes.
So you got to want to change, and then you got to change. And then when you change, you just can't change and then just make, I'm going to change today and I'm going to change tomorrow.
No, it's a lifelong process.
You got to commit to it.
Yes, it is.
And when you commit, it becomes a habit. And habits, man, habits are good habits and bad habits. You replace a bad habit every day for a good habit, and a year from now, you're that new person that you've been trying to get to, you know.
Just like replacing the apple for the bag of chips.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's easy. So change, man. Nothing's going to happen unless you change what you don't like to something that you do. You know, I don't like my job. Whose fault is that?
But you know, you even take it a little step further than that. So you did many years in and out. You did 3 state runs and then a federal run. So you've been in 4 times.
Yeah.
You were running with gangs. I'm assuming there was drugs involved. I'm assuming there was probably some drug use.
Yeah.
Everything that goes with this lifestyle. You come out your last bid and you say, no more. I'm done with that. So you take a low job, low totem pole job, low paying job, probably the lowest position that you could probably find. And you said, I'm going to do the best at it. And you did. And then they moved you up from there. And then an electrician came in, you got hired with the temp service, and then you went on to become full-fledged, and then you started your own company. That's a lot of odds to beat.
Yeah, I know.
But then you've taken it even a step further. You've got this little movement going on.
Stay positive movement.
And you're teaching people to change their mindset. Not only are you teaching them to change their mindset, you're teaching them to move forward in a positive direction, and you're teaching them to do something for themselves.
Yes.
Talk about that.
So, Coffee Cup Chuck. He was born out of issues that I myself had. You know, a lot of the issues that we have, when we solve those issues within ourselves, we tend to keep it to ourselves. I will wake up every morning, 4:30 in the morning for no reason, just up early in the morning for no reason, with nothing to do but just think inside of my head, think. And it gets crazy. It just starts driving you crazy after a while. So you have to figure out what you want to do with it. So I did what anybody who was a believer would do. I asked God, what do you want me to do? Because apparently you got me up for a reason.
And he does that, doesn't he?
Man. And after a while, you figure it's not you that's waking up. It's something that's waking you up. And it's got to be
during the day, you're not listening.
Yeah,
you're too busy.
It's just too much noise. So I started getting up and I asked him, you know, what do you want me to do? And he said, write. I want you to write. And I want you to write about what you need to fix with yourself. You got a lot of stuff you need to fix, and I need you to start writing about it. Because as long as you're writing about it, you're taking the stuff out of your head and you're putting it down on something. So I listen. You know, a long time ago, I wouldn't listen to no one. But last 10 years, I've turned that over and I've been listening. So I listened and I started writing. And those messages were some deep messages. These messages were so deep. Some of these messages would lead me to cry. I would tear up real bad. And then after a couple of weeks, I say about, I think like the 14th or 15th one I wrote, I said, man, people need to see these. People need to hear these.
They needed to be able to apply it to their own lives, because if you were
Yes.
going through it, somebody else was too.
And
Did
I
you know that?
noticed,
Everybody's going through something.
yes. And I just noticed that just reflecting those back on me, it was helping me. It was giving me oh man, I really forgot and I'm like, thank you, God, because these messages ain't coming from this brain. They're being put into this brain. So someone's talking to me, telling me what I need to do. And, of course, the reflection, if my social responsibility is not to hold something like that in, it's to put it out. So I started putting it out, and there was no Coffee Cup Chuck. This was just me putting them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed a way to put them out because people don't, it's like clickbait. No one wants to stop on just a dry post and read it. So you got to give them some reason to read it. What do you think I did? What's up, God? What do I need to do? And he said, well, why are you asking me? Do what you normally do every morning.
Yeah.
You get up and you get you a cup of coffee before you get anything else going. And that was it. Everyone gets up and gets some sort of drink, even if it ain't coffee. If it's tea, if it's coffee, if it's that Red Bull or whatever it is, everyone gets up and they get that drink. And during that process, so I wanted to kind of like make these feel like it was that go-to, that thing that you needed when you got up.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing it. I started buying cups from Walmart and Dollar Tree and with messages on them. And then I begged my wife, I need your help. I know you're cricket queen and you're doing all of this stuff. I need your help here. And, at first it was an easy thing, but our system was so jacked up that we were always frustrated with her creating these cups. But we found the rhythm and God made it a way. And wow, the remarkable outcome of me just putting an image on the front of a cup and writing about that image, it empowered a lot of people. And I started getting those inboxes everywhere from all over, man. And I remember the very first one I got, it was like, no one was following me. No one was liking the post. It was like one or two people. And this person that didn't even never like a post, didn't ever even, he said, thank you for that message last week, bro. You put a message out last week. And
he needed it.
Yes. So it sparked me and it made me keep doing it and keep going and keep going. And it's crazy because throughout my life, little things like that have happened that sparked me to want to be happier, make people smile, make people laugh more, bring the quality of somebody out before you just say, hey, my name's Chuck, just say their name, because a lot of people feel important when you just know their name. So, but it's just that message came and he said that, and it just, man, that was the first of all of the ones. And then they started flooding in, and I started realizing just because you don't get likes, just because people don't share your post, just because people don't acknowledge that they stopped through to see what you had to say or what you had to offer,
doesn't mean they're not looking.
Doesn't mean that they're not looking.
So you went from Chuck Doyle to Coffee Cup Chuck.
Coffee Cup Chuck.
Yeah.
And God, I'd had a conversation with him about that, because he gave me when I know I sound funny to people saying having this conversation with God, but
that's their problem.
Yeah, we all have the conversations with him, even if we don't want to admit it or not. But I'm like, God, I need a name, because Chuck Doyle is just not enough. And this the coffee dog, and I didn't came up with all these names, and he said Coffee Cup Chuck, and I'm like, man, that's corny. I'm a big brother.
Sometimes so corny is what's needed.
Yeah, the only thing I know is he said, say it 3 times. He just said, and some just say, something was like, just say it 3 times, say it 3 times. And I just, Coffee Cup Chuck, Coffee Cup Chuck, Coffee Cup Chuck. And to me, it sounded like a chant. And that chant is something that catches people. So I said, I'm going to give it a shot. And I did. And everywhere I go now, it's like, which one am I going to get? Am I going to get, hey, this is Coffee Cup Chuck, or hey, this is Chuck Doyle? And most of the time it's me hidden behind Coffee Cup Chuck. So,
and that's okay. Just stage name.
Okay. Yeah.
Because now you're speaking.
Yes.
You used to do some rapping back in your younger years, and now you're writing songs about mindset shifts.
Your fault.
Nah.
That was your fault. And it really was, because I was scared. And you brought that out of me. You basically said, listen, this is something you're good at. So I was scared because I felt that it would trigger me.
Mm-hmm.
It would trigger that old life again. And you said, let it be the guide to your new life. And,
That's right.
And now it's working.
Because if it was a trigger to the old life, then you still had some more change in it.
Yes. And got to go into the forest with the fight, not to lose. You got to go for the fight.
That's right.
And it's helping people. Just the songs, just a couple that I've already written are helping people. I have a guy that listens to one of those songs. He has it on speed up every day. He wakes up and the first thing he listens to is that song. And it's not a black guy. It's a Caucasian male that doesn't even listen to rap music.
But it's not, I mean, it is rap, but it really isn't storytelling.
Yes.
It's storytelling. To the point you've spoken in churches. You've spoken on becoming the best you. You're getting out there because people are seeing the changed Chuck, not the felon, not the hoodlum, not the drug addict, not the gang member, not the person that did all these things. They're seeing Chuck.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It feels good. It feels, you don't have to look over your shoulder. And it feels like relieving to know that when people see you, they don't cringe, instead of cringing, they're open arms.
They want to see you.
They light up.
Yes, they embrace the new thing. And, when I was first out of prison, I felt that I needed to hide. I was embarrassed. I was shameful. I felt I was never going to be good enough again, that I'd lost everything. And that wasn't true. And it's not true about any of you guys out there. And that is what this show is about, is showing that there is hope. You do not have to live your life in that bubble of being a felon. That's just a title. But you are a person, and you are worth so much more. So for those of you who don't think you have a life because of that, or you're in the dishwasher stage, that's okay. Because it's better to be in that dishwasher stage, living a better life, a life without crime, getting quality friends, than the life that you had before. And now, I have witnessed this guy on the stage. I have witnessed him going from not speaking to speaking. I've witnessed him from not singing to singing. And I've witnessed the struggle. But you still stepped up and you said, okay. What would you tell them?
I would first say, you got to take all of that bad stuff that you're carrying with you, and you got to unpack it. You first got to unpack it. You got to get rid of all of it, because you can't make room for the new stuff if you don't get rid of that old stuff. You got to get yourself a new set of friends too. If those people around you, if that community around you is not pushing you in a forward motion, if it's not driving you to be better, you got to get yourself in a community that's going to do better for you. Because one of the biggest things I've been able to do is put myself in a better community, put myself in a better situation where the people around me are helping me become this better person. Because a lot of times you can't do it by yourself. So don't give up, believe in yourself, and no matter what, keep moving forward.
And ask for help.
Ask for
help. If you need the help, ask for it. And let me tell you, now listen up. Sometimes your family is not the ones that's going to help you. Now, I had a great family, but even within that family support, sometimes it's negative. And sometimes it's not negative because they don't want to see you succeed. They're afraid to see you fail again. So keep that in mind when you're sharing things with them. But there are also those that don't want to see you succeed, even family members. They want to see you fail so they can say, see, I said that she wasn't any good. She's just going to go right back. Look at him. That was all an act. Don't be that person. Prove them wrong. And sometimes it's okay to not share your hopes and dreams with somebody. It's better to let them see them. Let them see that you've done it. Let them see that you can do it. That's what Chuck's doing. And let me tell you, you probably have in the beginning of your marriage. So you got married when you got out.
Yeah.
You've been married how long now?
It's going on 11 years.
And I've even seen
No,
a
it's after.
change.
We've been married 11 years, going on 12 years.
I've even seen a change in the relationship with your wife. In the beginning, she was not sure. Not that she wasn't supporting you, because she was doing your cup. She was trying to be very supportive, but that maybe not.
It's
To
a waste
now,
of time.
now she gets in the car and goes with you.
Yeah.
She's traveled cross country twice with us.
Yep. And one
Get ready
time
to do
without
it
me
again.
even knowing the reason why.
That's right.
Yeah. So she is the biggest supporter.
Mhm.
Like I said, you got to put the right people in your corner. You got to get the right people around you. If the person that you're with isn't pushing you and isn't driving you, you know, you got to figure out why, you know, and you can't let that stop you, because I got that support. Oh, when you say traveling, when you say difference in her, big difference, big difference. But like I said, it all starts with wanting to change.
It does. And sometimes you have to change your environment. And I'm not saying move. Sometimes you have to move. Sometimes you do have to move. But your environment is your scenery. Your environment scenery is the people you hang around. The people that you go to need to be your supporters. They need to be true friends. And let me say, a true friend isn't somebody who's going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear. And that's the relationship you and I have.
Yes.
We bounce some crazy stuff off of each other. And I think I said, what the heck are you doing? Or go for it.
Yep.
How can I help you? Those are the ones that you need.
And you know what, before we get off of that, you another thing why you have to get out of another thing that's in that environment that sometimes traps us is the opportunities. You know, if there's no opportunities in that environment, you might have good friends, you might have a great, you know, but if the opportunities aren't providing you what you need to get where you want to go, you gotta move around.
And you create your own opportunities by the people that you hang around. You know, would you have ever in February you shared the stage with 2 millionaires?
Yes.
But
where did I have to go to get that?
Well, you had to get the
move out of the
experience. You had to
environment.
get out of and you had to get the experience to get on that stage. But you had to get around people that were going to get you there.
Yeah.
Not that were going to yank you off.
Yep.
But then in August, you shared the stage with 3 millionaires.
3.
But the millionaires aren't even the thing. It's the rest of the quality of the people that he's been able to show who he is and to share who he is. And it's a big difference between showing and sharing, because I can show you a lot of stuff, or I can share with you my knowledge and my experience to help you get to the next level. And that's what Chuck's doing. That's why he's created this Stay Positive People. You want to share a little bit of your song? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
No.
Get out that song.
It's cool. Before I forget this message, that I just want to say, for those out there who are inmates, you know, who might be listening to this, or those who just stepped out of prison, you know, you guys think that it's over. You know, you guys get these records, these rap sheets, and it might be murder or robbery. It don't matter what it is. We have people in our environment, in our organization, that have been guilty of all of those atrocities, and they have been able to create better lives for themselves. And it's because of their ability to stay positive about their situation at all times. So yeah, I'll give them a little bit of I might even have the.
I want you guys to listen to this. He actually didn't say yes to this call at first. He said, no, you don't understand what my raps used to be about. You don't understand the life that I used. And I didn't understand, because my crimes were completely different. I grew up with a wonderful set of parents. Both parents never really had a bad day that I didn't create myself, right? It wasn't because of my family environment, but I had a great childhood, but yet I still did some things I wasn't proud of. And I was living a life that I shouldn't have been living, and landed me in prison. He already knew he was probably going to go there. It was something that I would have never expected. So we are completely opposites, male, female. I went to prison in older years. He went early years. He's black, I'm white, totally different environments, but we mesh. And we support. And that is what From Felon to Fabulous is here for. We are here to help you. You need some coaching. We got that. You need some advice. We got that. We have positive shows of encouragement. Just come back and watch. This is the first of many. We have people that are here for you. We have a board. We have many things in place. We have speakers, coaches, classes, workshops. Go on over to FromFelonToFabulous.com and check it out, see what's in store. And wouldn't you say, Chuck, that your biggest accomplishment has probably been your new relationships?
By far, I remember a year and a half ago, I told myself that these cups, the messages, I wanted them to, these messages, I want them to go to a different level, to be able to put them on a different platform. And I got a lot of motivation. I got a lot of inspiration from people like Eric Thomas and Trenton Shelton, and of course the Tony Robbins and oh my God, I can't remember the big one, Terrence, the Unstoppable Lethbridge is
Les Brown.
Les Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listening to all of these guys, and it inspired me to continue to inspire other people. Well, these guys were all speakers, and I wanted to become a speaker. Something said, you can do this. I mean, you take the stage, and you've had rap songs that you've done in the past, and you've done all of this from a stage aspect. I know I could do this. So
he's looking for his beat.
Yeah, I'm still looking for it. And I'm like, wow, because I wasn't prepared for this, but I want to at least be able to give you guys an opportunity.
I have a habit of putting people on the spot.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out how. Maybe I know how to get it.
You got to hear it, because it's his life, but it's also the changed coffee cup Chuck. He is inspiring instead of tearing down. He is encouraging instead of exiting out. He is making things happen instead of taking the easy way out. He's taking the right road, the higher road. He is putting himself in situations to be blessed instead of being taken from. There are so many things that happen because it's your own doing. Did you hear me? It is your own doing. But it doesn't mean your life is over, and it doesn't mean that you cannot start to do better. It means that you can. And that's what From Felon to Fabulous is here for. We have got folks from all across the world involved in this, from all ages, all nationalities. So if there's something you think you've done that you can't overcome, let me tell you, we have some folks that have seen it. Where you at with that? Whatever you want.
Okay.
Got one?
Yep, got one.
I'm gonna turn it over to you. Actually, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. Okay. So this song right here, I just want to give you a cap on it right quick. The song is a question, and the question is something that you should be asking yourself every day. Every day you get an opportunity to open those eyes and live another life. A lot of times we forget what we even want for ourselves. So hopefully this song will give you an opportunity to figure that question out. Hey, how you doing, Ann?
Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Yeah. Check this out, y'all. 168 hours in a week, 56 of it spent on sleep, 40 more of it spent at the gig. Gotta work if you want to live now. Subtract the 56 and 40 from 168, and that'll leave you 72 hours to plan and create. But you see, we're so distracted that it all goes to waste. That procrastinating and feared and really slowed your pace. You think tomorrow's promised just because you see the day. You think tomorrow's promised so the time just ticks away. And then there's those excuses that we make to justify why we're so stationary. But see, it's just a lie, just a cover up to butter up your reason why. Something we tell ourselves so we don't even have to try. What are you really doing? Gotta get your head up out of the sand. Who are you really fooling? You don't even think you can. No matter what's going on in that head of yours, just know that you're special and part of God's plan. But I want to know, what are you doing for yourself? Are you just getting old? Is your talents going to waste? You ain't trying to grow? What are you doing for yourself? Still running in place? See, you ain't going nowhere because you're stuck at first base, worried about what they gonna say, scared of the failure you'll face. But it won't matter anyway if you don't even try to be great. Go and embrace those mistakes. It's really good for your health, which leads me back to the question, what are you doing for yourself? The opinion of others We all gotta love them in those excuses. We all use plenty of them, but you see, those very same excuses, they all come a dime a dozen. When you think about it, people, those excuses, they leave you nothing. So what are you doing for yourself? Are you just gonna try? And when you fail, then you ain't gonna try. What are you doing for yourself? You just gonna let time fly out here procrastinating and putting it off till your life goes by. You got this opportunity of a lifetime and you just gonna abuse it. You got the power to create anything and you ain't gonna use it. Is it the fear that's really holding you back? Is that why you won't do it? Is it those family members and friends? If so, I kind of knew it, but Pete, this is your dream. God didn't give it to me. So you see, you can't expect other people to see what you see. So just believe in yourself a little bit. It'll set your mind free. And that's how you start being the best you can be. But I want to know, what are you doing for yourself? Are you just getting old? Is your talents going to waste? You ain't trying to grow? What are you doing for yourself? Still running in place? So you ain't going nowhere because you're stuck at first base, worried about what they gonna say, scared of the failure you'll face. But it won't matter anyway if you don't even try to be great. Go on and embrace those mistakes. It's really good for your health, which leads me back to the question, what are you doing for yourself? It's your boy, Coffee Cup Chuck. And thank you for joining us for another episode of From Felon to Fabulous with my 007 over here.
Stay tuned for more wonderful, encouraging, life-changing episodes.
Stay positive, people.
Or do you want to be the person that soothes, that loves? Because you can still stand tall and be as big as you want to be when you are this person. How about that interview?
That was awesome.
Yeah, boy. That was pretty neat. All that good stuff in the background to look at. I love that office.
Yes, that's a friend of ours' office. So we were very blessed to let him use that office. He's got cheap and sporting and you name it memorabilia all over the place.
It's neat. It reminds me of my little man cave I got, but on steroids.
Well, speaking of, that office is got his own podcast with What's Up, Big Bob and Ann.
Yes. Funny, very funny. I find the sitcom a little, it definitely makes you laugh. Big Bob is funny.
Can't wait to be on next week, maybe.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I have some questions for you. That was a great interview, Chuck. I never get tired of hearing your story. I feel like I am able to take something new every time I hear it. And your songs, you already know I dig. I love dancing, and I can't wait. I want to make some content with your music. I would love to make some TikToks or do something and help get it out there because it has such a great, powerful message, and we just need to get it out there to the world. But I do have a question for you. So, staying positive on purpose, how has that helped you in your life, and how does it affect the people around you?
Well, staying positive on purpose is, do you know the feeling of feeling down? You got all this stuff going on in your life and the world doesn't see any of it. And all of a sudden, as you're walking into a store, someone's walking out of that store and they got the biggest smile on their face. And this smile is so profound that you wonder deep down inside, all the way down to your own heart, why are they so happy? And just because of that big smile on their face, it leaves just a little remnants to make you want to smile. It's like the baby, a giggle. When you're positive, when you're being positive intentionally, it rubs off on people. It really does. It saves people's lives sometimes.
Yes, yes.
So,
And I encourage people to reach out to Chuck, and he has a special story just on that topic alone. It saves people's lives, and he's been there. He has been able to save literally somebody from taking their own life just by intentionally being positive. So I commend you. I thank you. And I hope that everybody who hears this message takes note to that. We are mirrors of each other, right? We're copycats. So if we are smiling and being positive, it's just a natural reaction for it to be contagious to what's around us. So that's a great way to live. What can we expect from C3 in 2024?
oh man. So BTBY, Activate Your Power Now, the Coffee Cup brands, Stay Positive People Movement. I have friends that help push this Stay Positive movement, and it basically starts with first getting yourself activated, and it secondly, you can't maintain a good positive attitude if you don't have the right environment around you. So 2024 is surrounded with being keeping myself activated and becoming a better version of myself each and every day. We got schools coming up. I'm really hyped to learn how to go inside of these schools and actually start being able to help influence the minors. I was once a minor. Most of my problems in life started when I was a minor. Some of the biggest obstacles that I was hit with came to me when I was a minor. So I think it's really important to be able to use those minors as a target to help me push my career into, to me, I'm young in this game. I'm really young, and I'm really eager to learn. I got one of my agents on a call right now, Brenda. She knows that I'm eager to do it. So 2024 will be based, it'll definitely be based on pushing the Stay Positive People movement. It is up to us to keep the fire going in each one of us. Sometimes your flame does go out and you need somebody to help you light it. Let the Stay Positive People movement be that movement that helps you get that flame lit again.
Nice. I love that. Yes. And yes, we are part of the Becoming the Better You Kansas Youth Summit coming up in February, where we will
Yes.
be getting in front of over 2,000 kids and spreading activation, right? Helping change the trajectory and the mindset, because we know you don't have to be out getting in trouble, right? As a youth, to be down a path of destruction. It could look like depression. It could look like anxiety. And as we grow older and as they go through maturing and puberty and everything, it does things to the mind. And then that can send them down a path a little bit later in life of destruction. And before you know it, they're finding themselves right in a predicament that they never thought they would be in. So it's that easy. I feel so blessed to serve with both you, Brenda, Chuck, and all of the BTB wires and activators, and to be able to go out there and just help give youth another different way, another opportunity, right? Allow them, show them there's different ways to maneuver in this world, and being accountable just will help you stay on a path to where you want to get instead of being a victim of life.
And with that being said, watch this. If I can get it to play, maybe not.
Hey, I'm Dr. Monroe, the Assistant Superintendent for Caroline County Public Schools. It is a plum-pleasing pleasure to be here today. And you know what? As we're going through the holiday season, I was thinking about some of the greatest gifts from this year. And I'm going to tell you, one was the Becoming the Better You organization visiting Caroline Middle School in my hometown. And you know what was so positive about that organization is they actually helped our students to become not only dreamers, but just to be successful, not only in school, but in life. And the way that they created what we call a sense of belonging was amazing. I mean, the students felt physically safe, socially and emotionally safe, empowered, valued, and all while they were learning, they were able to be innovative and really think outside the box. Because you know what? The group created a culture where students could make mistakes without losing their dignity. I mean, it was kind of funny. It was kind of like, you know, like a $20 bill. How many people would even want a $20 bill? I know I do, especially around the holiday season. But think about it this way. Even if I ball it up into a little ball, would you still want it? Of course you would. I mean, even if I were to throw it on the ground and step on it, would you still want it? Well, I'm sure you would, because you know why? No matter what the condition, it still has the same value. And if you want to feel valued, if you want to feel empowered, if you want to have a great time, and if you want to just have an awesome experience where you'll have fun in school to help you to be successful in life, you need to invite the Becoming the Better You to your town. And guess what? We may be coming to see you soon.
How about that for a testimony?
Yes. Yes.
And wouldn't it be great if we could reach the kids before they became felons?
Exactly. That's our goal.
Yes. Mhm.
Let's make the prison systems just something that's not needed
You know
anymore.
what I'd love to see? Defund the prisons.
That's right. That's right.
But prisons are needed. They're needed. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is let's get less and less and less of our youth to go.
Right.
And let's take more of the profits from them and turn them into helping citizens to become better over just punishing them, putting them in prison. Because there's some people that I did some time with. I'm thinking, why didn't they just get probation? What I don't understand why they're getting this hard time when it really could have been probation. And you have other people that committed so many other serious crimes that did just get probation. There is no rhyme or reason for what's going on in our system.
It was probably a political year. It was probably an election year or something. They do things
You just don't
There's a
know.
lot of different
Or
factors.
they plead out to give them somebody else, and that's not necessarily right either.
Yeah.
If it's fair, be fair for everybody. The time should fit the crime, right? And this is coming from somebody that did time. And the plea down is great if you're somebody that was looking at 20, 30 years. But the person that should have got 20, 30 years also didn't get it.
Yeah.
And so there's just some things that are wrong with our system. And I want to be very clear here. There's some people that never need to come out of prison. Prisons are needed. There are some really bad people. I met some really bad people, but I also met some really cool people and some people that I still associate with today that I call some of dearest friends.
Yeah. And mistakes are made. Crazy thing about it is a lot of the mistakes, like Izzy, like you said earlier in the broadcast, you made mistakes and you just fell through the crack. You never made it. So and look at you, you've turned out just fine. So the jails are
It's more than fine. She's making a difference.
Big difference. I mean, she's getting people activated. And I've seen some of the people that she's worked with, and just seeing the continuous growth is letting you know that the goal is going to be reached, because it needs to be reached. Is feeding what it needs to feed. She's being social responsible. And I think that's what it is. Even to the people who haven't had backgrounds such as we have. You have a social responsibility to your community to help guide it. And that starts with the children. It starts with the youth. And then it starts with the people in our society who are troubled, because we live in this city. We live in the United States. We live on this planet. And if we're not trying to help the people who are sick, if we're not trying to help the people who need that guidance, if we're not trying to at least help that mindset become a little more sharpened, then eventually it will affect everyone. So it's our obligation to do it. And I came into this organization, the BTBY. I wouldn't have found it without going through, the Activate Your Power movement, because of Sky, and listen, whoever's listening to this broadcast, you got to make sure you are putting the right people in front of you, because you can want to change all you want, but if the elements around you aren't allowing you to stay changed, you won't focus long enough to be able to create the habit of doing something better for yourself. So you gotta get yourself in the community that's going to benefit you. And I've been able to do it. And People say, how do you stay changed? Because you can change, but how do you stay changed? You stay changed by remaining in that environment that's continuously changing you for the better. The people on this stream that you see, we're all changing every day. Izzy wasn't the same yesterday. Brand wasn't the same yesterday. We're all change every single day. We hear something, see something, or do something that changes us. Like Ruben West would say, just that little small degree more. So
The smallest change over time can make a big difference.
Yes.
The smallest change over time can make a big difference.
Right.
And sometimes it's just saying no.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's saying yes.
That's right.
Well, that's all we have for you guys tonight. Stay tuned every Tuesday, 6:30. Go check us out, E360, Roku, Amazon Fire, all of the stations that you can stream on, YouTube, LinkedIn, hear it on Facebook, anywhere you can probably find it. Share it out. Let's start changing lives and let's start supporting instead of tearing down.
Yes.
So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. See you again next week.
stay positive.